Okay, later on we're going to study the conditions under which you can get integer solutions to these equations over here. I want to point out that is what's called Diophantine. This is an example of an equation that has no integer pair solutions. Right, we'll talk about the conditions under which how to find those when we get to section. Let me just check my notes. I think it's section number, let me just check, section 71. We'll get there. I think it pops up in 71 anyway. So what I'm going to say is you'd be wasting your time looking for it. Now, one thing I would recommend you do, though, in a problem here, let me write this down, 18x plus 16y is equal to minus 6. I would definitely reduce the complexity of it by dividing by 2. And what do you get? You're going to get 4x plus 8y is equal to minus 3. All right? You know, what else could you do? I guess you could factor a 4 out. By the way, this doesn't make it any easier for anyone, but you get 2y equals minus 3. By the way, your hope of finding an integer now should really shoot down to 0. All right? But the point of this is not, to waste your time looking for an integer solution now. Your point is to find a simple solution to the problem. And I'm going to say fractions work nice. So what I'm going to do is select the fractions I like. I'm getting better at this. I'll select x to be 0. And what would y be? Minus 3/8. I'm going to pick another easy point. I'm going to pick y to be 0. And what would that give me? Well, again, I'm using this equation because it's the simplest one I can look at. That would give me minus 3/4. This is what's known as an x-intercept. And this is what's known as a y-intercept. Well, what I do now, I'd graph it. Oh, before I do that, I want to point out these answers are being listed over here for you. What I'd recommend is plotting those 2 points. I know it's difficult, but I want to point out minus 3/4 along the x-axis is fairly easy to do. All right? And what's the other one? Minus 3/8, fairly easy to do. Right, we're just ballparking it. Also want to point out, ruler really not necessary. We're just getting a rough picture of the graph. Just draw a line that, sort of goes through those 2 points, and that'll be the equation line graphed out, all right? Again, this is a good example where you go on a wild goose chase trying to find an integer solution that there are no integer solutions to that problem. Thank you.